We are very excited today that we have Pietro Re, the founder of Tamiya olive oil, here in our Olive Oil Lovers studio. We're going to do a tasting of all of his oils.
Thank you, Joanne, for your invitation.
We started working with you, maybe about 5 years ago now. You kind of came to us from a very unique area in Italy called Tuscia, which is a region in the northern area of Lazio, which is just north of Rome. So not a lot of people have heard of this area. What makes it so unique?
But it's unique because it's the volcanic origin of our land. So the soil is very rich in minerals, and we also have hills between 200 and 500 meters above sea level. So the perfect climate for growing olive trees.
Right, and it hasn't really been known for or so familiar with olive oil, but you have in fact have some very unique varieties that I had never heard of until I met you. And when I first tried your oil, I realized how unique of a flavor these are. So two of the main cultivars that you grow are we have here the Caninese and the Maurino. Tell me a little bit of the history about the Caninese variety, because that I had not heard of before. It has a very unique flavor that I love. But tell me the history of that particular variety.
Yes, Caninese is the autochthonous one. It grows only in our area, in Tuscia. It has a wide origin, so it's very strong tree.
Yes, and you were telling me a story earlier, how Caninese is not a common variety that people grow today because it's a very slow growing tree, so it's not very beneficial if you want production very soon after you plant, and so this is really something very special that you have. And then the Maurino as well is also a variety I had never heard of until I met you. And what's unique about this variety?
Maurino is autochthons of our land, but not only. You can find in Tuscany, but it's difficult to find an olive tree only Maurino, monovarietal.
All right, Pietro, let's try some of your oils. So we're going to start with the more mild. We always go from mild to more robust when we taste oils. For us, some Caninese.
Yeah, Caninese.
So I personally really love this variety. I've told you this so many times, but it has a really smooth, almost, and I'm going to say sweet profile. Now we're not talking sugary sweet, but it's just very fruit forward. It's soft and sweet. It's an oil you can use for me on everything.
Yes, it's delicate, but has a good structure.
I love this oil as kind of a butter replacement. For me, it has kind of sweeter, buttery notes. So like I'll use it on I'll drizzle it over a poached egg. I love it mixed with egg yolk, or just kind of poured on top of some buttered toast even. Something that you don't want to overpower the food, but really enhance it with that kind of soft, fruity notes. How would you describe this Caninese?
Yes, it's a medium fruity and grassy, but also green almond. And in the tasting, starts with a little bitter, but it's not persistent, because this is what we want to do.
Right.
And after the bitter, you also have this sweet sensation.
Yes.
So it's a complexity that this olive oil has. It's persistent, but not aggressive.
It has a really pleasant, welcoming flavor profile. Even just in the mouth now, a minute or so later, it's just softly persistent. I still get a little bit of sensation on the mouth in the flavors, but it has a really kind of beautiful, soft, long finish. And so what do you like to put Caninese? What dishes, what foods do you like to use?
For example, for legumes that are sweet, and caprese, mozzarella.
Yeah. I call this approachable. It's a very approachable oil that I think almost anyone would appreciate. All right, so next we're going to try the Maurino.
Yeah.
So this will be just a step up in strength.
The flavor is different because Maurino, now we are going to taste, has the characteristic to have not only grassy sensation but also some tomato sensations.
Yes.
So the smell is a little more complex. A little more intensity at the smell of the Caninese.
A little more herbaceous and that tomato flavor than the Caninese, which was kind of more fruit forward, sweeter. So this for me is really kind of exploding more in my mouth. I'm feeling it all around my tongue, the roof of my mouth, the back of my throat. So this definitely has more kick, more pungency, more bitterness, like those greener notes to it. It leaves some astringency on the palate, a very clean palate. It's still persistent right now in my mouth.
Yes, it remains this sensation of raw vegetables.
Yes.
And this is important because it means that the fruit from which is extracted was perfect, was green, it was at the perfect moment of maturation.
Yes. So now a stronger oil like this that's more robust, more bitter, you can pair with foods that have a little more complexity to them. And you want to avoid maybe using this one for softer foods because you don't want to overwhelm the flavors.
The white meats, for example, and mixed salads, also sea salads, and also for fish that you can cook on the barbecue, for example.
Yes, so the grilled fish. You want something when you're grilling, using olive oil on grilled fish, because of that kind of char that you have, you want to use a more robust oil to complement. It's lovely. I really get a lot of those tomato notes on this. So, drizzling this over bruschetta or, some tomato forward dishes would be quite nice. Or just a garden tomato salad with some sea salt. All right. Nice.
Very well.
Now, last we have your Tamiya Gold. So what varieties do you use then in the Gold?
We use Moriolo, we use
Frantoio.
we use Maurino, some years also Caninese.
This is going to be quite a robust oil then, because those varieties are typically provide a stronger flavor.
This is the olive oil when you switch on the barbecue.
Yeah.
Or this is perfect for everything: lobster, meat, fish, vegetables, bruschetta. Yes, you have here grassy, some leaf. It's nice how different are the shapes of green in the three olive oils. This is the biodiversity that is incredible.
Yes. That's very, very full, very complex, very rounded. Opening up in my mouth, there's a lot going on there. That's really, really fun. I get almost like some jasmine notes on there, which is kind of, I find in those, traditional Tuscan varieties, sort of a floral note almost, and almost a little bit minty, like a minty floralness to it, in that sort of green herbaceous realm.
Yes, being the stronger is more persistent too, but it's nice. This bitter starts with this bitter, but then during the testing, the bitter go down and also arrive some sweet.
Yeah, it's not overpowering at all. It's a really well balanced oil on the more robust end of the spectrum, but I'm not being overwhelmed by bitterness. There's a lot of flavor, a lot going on with the fruity notes, but also a lot of fun bitterness and pungency happening there too. This is an oil that you could have a lot of fun with in your kitchen because it's really going to enhance and transform the food that you put it on.
I can suggest to use this olive oil also for cooking, because being the richest in polyphenols protect very well the other ingredients.
It's a very stable oil to cook with.
Are all stable, but this stronger means that has inside more polyphenols that protect from the oxidation from the fire.
I mean, it's a fantastic oil to cook with and finish with.
Yeah. In fact, people think that to use a cheap olive oil for cooking and a good olive oil for dressing, but it's not
use
so.
a good olive oil
You need for cooking the best olive oil.
Absolutely, I agree.